You don't have to have green thumbs or a large garden to enjoy the rewards of growing your own plants. And even the smallest patio, balcony, or window box can boast a spectacular flower display or crop of vegetables and herbs. And you know, these days, there's such a wide variety of flowers and vegetables and planting containers that it can be really relatively simple to grow your own plants and save on that food budget. So please stay tuned to Aging in LA as we do a little gardening. Hashimoto Nursery is the oldest nursery in West Los Angeles and has been in the same family for 80 years. During World War II, nursery operations were disrupted when 2 of the 4 founding brothers were returned to Japan and 2 were interned in Manzanar. But they were not to be deterred and continued operations at Sawtelle Boulevard at the end of the war. The experts here at Hashimoto Nursery are going to teach us how to put together wonderful floral displays like this and other gardening tips. With us is Jimmy. Thank you for being with us today.
You're welcome.
And how do we go about creating this beautiful either centerpiece or flower arrangement for maybe a windowsill? How do we start?
Okay, just to start.
Okay.
Empty pot.
Empty pot, and you see it's got the drain hole
So
here.
drain full. So that's why the soil go down. So that's why I put in the 2.
Right, 2 rocks.
This.
And that keeps the drainage there. Now, I've got the soil.
Yeah, put in the amount.
Okay, again, this is easy enough. And you don't have to buy those big bags. You can get smaller bags. Okay, by how much?
Well, more.
More, okay.
More.
Okay.
Yeah, just about, about.
Okay,
About this much.
a little more,
Right,
see?
yeah.
And that's about 1/3 of this bag, which is easy. Okay, now, how do we start? Because look how beautifully this is arranged.
At beginning is the center of this, maybe big flowers.
Uh-huh.
So just not like.
You just tap it out, right?
And the center, just to look up the, okay, this is a beautiful one first.
Okay. Now see, this is the part where I always fall down because I sort of just throw them all together.
Okay. So,
And you keep the root ball just the way it is?
It is, yeah. Just look at this one, is color, it's okay.
Okay.
And the other side, same color.
Same color on the other side, okay. These are the tips.
Like this way.
Okay, I see.
Okay.
Great.
So, and then maybe we can use, let's see.
What should we use here?
But not this one, but put some little, the color packs.
Okay,
we call
great. Well, this is called a color pack.
Yeah, color pack, 6 packs. Put maybe this one for
Sure.
just to push in the bottom.
You just push in the bottom and it'll pop right out.
Side. Maybe this side.
Oh, I'm going to surprise my wife here. I'm learning how to do this.
And maybe color, look at
One of these little ones? Sure.
Yeah. To
Okay.
maybe one more.
Okay, one more and I'll push this out.
To this and then this one.
Okay, where should I?
Put here.
Here.
The center.
See?
So maybe
Look at this. Look how
one.
quickly this goes together.
Okay, and then here, so between this.
Okay, another red.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm pushing up from the bottom.
Yeah.
And get it. Now this kind of pot, can you do the same thing with herbs or with spices?
Spices.
So then the same,
Yeah.
but the same sort of arrangement.
That's
Okay.
right. So
Well,
maybe
look how beautiful this is already.
Maybe okay. That's it.
Okay, all right.
And then some. They have to grow, so you don't need
Right.
too much.
Oh, that's right. We've got to leave room for the growth.
Yeah, a little bit this one,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit more.
Okay, and I have a little room over here.
Yeah, and then contrast the white for
Okay.
the between.
There we go.
Maybe here. The
Oh, this
purple
one?
Yeah,
Okay.
purple one. Oh, the need colors.
Is this too small for growing a tomato plant?
Yeah,
Or
little bit Tomato has to be a deeper.
A little deeper pot,
Yeah.
because I know we all love fresh tomatoes.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. One
And I've
more
lived
here,
from-
the color.
and saying you've got the color.
Then eventually, this is go hang down.
And it comes over.
Yeah.
Now, are these for the little baby breasts?
No, this is the alyssum
Alyssum,
and lobelia.
a lobelia.
Yeah.
Well,
Eventually, it goes like this
I
way.
see.
To,
about how in about what a month, 4 weeks to get this full?
No, 2-3 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks. Now you see how simple this is? Because this would make a really beautiful centerpiece for a table.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, and we don't need to add any more soil. It's
no,
fine?
No, it's finished.
Okay.
And then I put on the new soil around it.
I
and I
see.
push in.
And then you just push in a little bit.
Yeah.
So now that was really simple. And of course, for our seniors, we like them to work up high so they're not bending over.
Yeah, you need some table like this.
Right, and the heaviest thing here was that bag of potting soil. So this is easy to do, and this would be. How long will this last? Will these flowers?
It's about 3 months.
About 3 months. So as a quarter of the year, you have something that you made yourself and gives color. And as Chimney said, you can have dill, you could have sage, a little bit of rosemary, and it's really fun when you're cooking to just sort of reach over your counter and grab a piece of rosemary for those soups.
That's right.
I like that.
Strawberry.
Now, Chimney, what about watering with this? Is this have much care?
About twice a week water.
About twice a
But
week.
This runs around like this, so water twice and outside, center only once.
Okay, so twice around the outside for this, and then a little bit inside.
Center.
I see.
Just comes around.
Okay, and other than that, this is like low maintenance, right?
That's right.
Oh, this is very easy. Now, this should be inside,
Now it has to be outside the sun.
outside with the sun. Or, well, what about if you have a window that gets a lot of sun? Is that okay?
No problem.
Okay, good, good, good. Because I know I'm always struggling with this on the front porch. You know, what I want color, but I want it to be low maintenance. Now, speaking of that, there's a lot of concerns here in Southern California about water usage. So maybe when we have a little time later in the show, you'll show me some of those plants that are native to our region that don't require so much care.
We do have.
Oh, you do have some of those? Good, good, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, we'll look forward to seeing that. So you stay tuned to Aging in LA, and we'll share with you some more gardening tips. Can't wait to see some more. Thank you, Jimmy.
You're welcome.
We were talking about herbs and spices, so remember the song, Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme. And I have some thyme right here, Old English thyme, and mint. Oh, I love that mint. And Jimmy, what do you have there?
Oregano
Oregano
and chamomile.
and chamomile. Oh, those will really brighten up salads and all sorts of things. And these are really very easy to grow, right? Same kind of, put it in the pot, about half full with the potting soil after the 2 rocks are down. And then you just place these around the corner.
That's right.
Now, of course, I always keep these little things to remind myself of which plant I'm plucking. Now, there's so many other things. Here, let's set these down and we'll go on about this side because I'm anxious to show people what else you have. This is the traditional for nearly everybody in Southern California who appreciates good tomatoes. We have, of course, the tomato plants. And they can, now there's all sorts of varieties. It can go from little cherry tomatoes to the big, big, big ones. And these are relatively easy to care for, right?
Yes, but I need a lot of sun.
A lot of sun. Okay, a lot of sun. Now, we have something to show you here that you'll really love. Jimmy, come with me. I want to get over here. Look at this. Strawberries. And there is nothing like fresh strawberries. Now, here we have the pot. Is this an expensive pot?
It's not too expensive.
Not too expensive. Okay, so first we put the soil in. And you were telling me that the little 6-packs of strawberries are the best for these small areas.
Pocket.
Right. And then you get a somewhat larger plant, 4 inches about?
Yeah,
And you get 2 of them, and you put them there. Now, how long before they'll be ready for plucking?
Oh, they depends.
Uh-huh.
Depends. I mean, like this.
Yes.
When it's already.
All right, good. This already has.
Yeah, already has here.
Ah, I see. And of course,
Soon.
you wait till they get nice and red.
That's right.
That's right, and you pluck them individually. And just the idea of strawberry shortcake,
yeah.
with strawberries and cream, that's wonderful. And once you place this, these also need a lot of sun?
Lots of sun.
Lots of sun. Okay, and what about watering? Is this...
About twice a week.
About twice a week, so about the same as those flowers.
Yeah.
I see. Well, you can almost dream about this, the strawberry, your own strawberry festival. And there's so many of these kinds of containers, too.
Yes, that's right.
Then, and you can, is it, when people come in to talk to you, Jimmy, are they looking for something specific, or do they ask your opinion on what to grow?
Oh, it's grow. Yeah, so they're going to ask me, ask us, so.
Well, and that's a good idea, because this year, especially given our economic condition, I think a lot of people are going to be gardening this year, 2009.
Right. Yes, I noticed that.
And that can really help with the annual food bill, can't it?
That's right.
Now, things like lettuce, green beans, things like that, that doesn't take a lot of work, right?
It's not too much.
Not too much. Even with the beans, should you have a little trellis for them?
Trellis, yes.
A little trellis, okay, and they're not very difficult. But what about things like, squash?
Those I need lots of space.
Lots of space because it flowers out.
That's right.
Well, of course, I put in pumpkins every year, and they take over everything.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But it's great fun at the end of September to say, hey, my pumpkin on my porch, I grew myself. Now, we'll be right back with Aging in LA. Please stay tuned for more gardening tips.
Remember, pets need to prepare for disasters too. Put together an emergency kit with water, a water bowl, food, and any medications they may need. Get the message. Be prepared.
The Los Angeles Department of Water and Power wants to give you up to 7 free shade trees just for completing a workshop, either online or in your neighborhood. The Trees for a Green LA program offers LADWP residents over 40 different varieties of free shade trees. Trees benefit the environment, save energy, and add beauty. Get your trees by participating in an online workshop by logging on to ladwp.com/trees or call 1-800-GREEN-LA.
Well, Jimmy, let's take a little walk down this aisle.
Okay.
You can be pretty extravagant with these succulents. Look at this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of us who have the old fountains in the backyard. And look at this wonderful treatment here. Half a dozen varieties of them, stacked up, low maintenance. That's beautiful. And there's a lot of color in cactus and succulents.
Yeah, that's right.
More color than you can imagine. I know here we have just a wonderful array of flowers. And here's something, if you're feeling ambitious, Jimmy, tell me these wonderful baskets. Again, you've put them together. How many varieties do we have in here?
Ooh, I never counted.
Oh,
but
yeah.
just the colors,
Right.
Yeah.
And you see, and the colors are subtle, and yet these will bloom out more than just the berries, right?
Oh, yes, that's right.
This is very low maintenance once you put it together. There's no real special growing instructions for this, right?
No. Just sometimes cactus juice.
Cactus juice?
Yeah.
Okay, really, literally cactus juice?
Yeah.
Now,
You can't drink, but...
right, I understand. But what about... We all have to be careful with our garden pesticides and the chemicals we put on them. Does this require any special care?
Don't overwater.
Okay.
If it's too much water, then sometimes you get some bugs.
Uh-huh.
But otherwise, no.
Well,
No.
and of course they're drought resistant.
That's right.
Yes, I mean, after all, they're cactus, and if your careful. These, how long will these last? I mean,
What?
years?
Years over years.
Yeah, and that's kind of nice. Now, let's talk about investment for something like this. How much are we talking
Well,
about here?
actually, this is a little bit, pot is too expensive.
Oh, this pot's too expensive,
Yeah,
but okay, we all have pots laying around.
Yes, so little one is the $2.99 start.
Okay.
And the $4.99, $8.99. So
Okay.
Not too much.
And it doesn't have to be exotic. And of course, you can ask, get some advice if you want to have some flowering ones. You know, we're so lucky here in Southern California. Anything will grow. It seems like we have, especially if you've got that ocean breeze. It's remarkable how low maintenance these cacti and succulents can be. Now, what about some of the people who have the edible cacti? There are some forms that people actually like to eat.
Yes, that's right. Ooh.
Are they, what, over here? There's some others?
Like those big ones.
The big ones,
Some,
yes.
Fruit on it, so it's
Okay.
coming.
I see. And that it produces a fruit? Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, you can eat.
Oh, I'll be darned. Isn't that something? Well, now we're going to show you some great tropical plants. And after that, we're going to show you the tools that can make gardening easier. Easy on your back. You won't have to bend down and lift heavy loads. But let's go look at some of those tropical plants. Of course, when you're thinking about a garden, it's not just the flowering plants and the veggies and all the rest. Sometimes you want to have, well, some ground cover. And you have some wonderful grasses here. My goodness, what kind of grasses are these?
All different kinds.
All different kinds. And once you plant, will they sort of propagate on their own?
Yes,
And that'll help. That's actually good for weed control also, isn't it?
that's right.
But then, of course, if you're feeling ambitious, you can come to these beautiful hibiscus. Now, is there much care with the hibiscus?
No.
No?
Just don't overwater.
Again, not...
Maybe once a week,
Well, once a week. Sometimes you want to have a bit of color in your garden, and a hibiscus plant is really wonderful. And again, don't overwater.
That's right.
And of course, with our water restrictions now, that's sound advice. But then there are other aspects of a garden. Sometimes they need a little framing, or you have a view you want to block. And here we have some really big plants over here with these broadleaves. What are these?
That's a giant bird of paradise.
A giant bird of paradise. And they flower?
Yes.
Yes?
No, not right now, but later, yes.
Yeah, and they get that beautiful, well, we've all seen them, that beautiful bloom that really does look like a bird of paradise.
Yeah, that's it.
And you can use that to, hide fencing or maybe that view of your neighbor's swimming pool. Well, let's move over and get to some of the tools that our seniors could use to help them make gardening easier. Okay?
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Jimmy.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Now, as you can see, there is a pot for every purpose and a plant for every pot. You can spend a little or spend a lot. Some of the things that make your task easier when you're gardening are the sorts of tools you have. And they're not expensive, but these are the kinds that make your work a lot easier. And of course, if you can have a low bench, maybe the ones with wheels so you can actually sit, if you can't work on a high table like this. Let's go through some of the simple implements that people need. We have a trowel, right? And this is kind of a narrow one. And inexpensive, $3 less. And here's a little wider trowel. And you want to make sure that the ground is turned, right? And you want to prepare it. And of course, a mini rake. Well, this is really good for cleaning out between your rows and making sure you're getting your weeds up. Then, of course, you must have the clippers. They almost all have the safety catch now. And these are pretty easy on your hand, and they work very well. For the dreaded weeds. I like this one. You just punch it in there and twist a little bit and lift it right out. And again, look at that nice wood handle. Now, we've talked about watering over and over. And remember, the new city restrictions require that when you garden, you have to have a nozzle that turns off. Now, here we have, this is really nice. Look at this. It's a little expensive, but you just squeeze the handle, and that controls the flow.
That's right.
And you can get an extension for these too, right? In case you have to reach up higher, kind of like we get those grippers. But this is very nice, and of course the nozzle, perfect for watering your plants. And Jimmy, when people get started in gardening, do you find that once they get involved, they stay very involved with gardening?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
And it's a good thing because you get out of it what you put into it. You can do like low maintenance stuff and still have color and edible goods, which is good for the budget. And it's up to you. Now, I want to thank you, Jimmy, for taking the time today.
You're welcome.
And our friends here at Hashimoto Nurseries in West Los Angeles. Remember, it's been here 80 years. If you got a question, I'll bet they have the answer for you. Thanks for joining us on today's gardening show on Aging in LA, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.